What's going on, guys? Today I wanted to talk about my 3 favorite lenses for the Sony E mount, specifically the a7 III, which is what I do a lot of my shooting on. And I'm going to break down the 3 lenses that I find myself using a lot of the time, which could be considered, I guess, budget lenses. Meaning they're really not the high end, they're not G Master, but they're going to perform great and I love them. So let's dive in and find out everything that you need to know and what they are. Let's go! Alright, here we are. We're talking about my 3 favorite lenses that are, reasonably priced, budget lenses, I guess you could call. And if you do shoot Sony, if you're getting into this, you should know by now that there are really no budget lenses. I'm not going to be recommending lenses that are $300 or $400. You do pay for quality, you get what you pay for. And yeah, if you're a Sony shooter, you're probably going to be selling some organs to get some decent glass. Your children's college fund's going to suffer, you're going to be poor. Well, that escalated quickly. But anywho, let's jump into number 3, and that is the lens I'm filming on right now. This is, of course, the Sony 16-35 f4, and I love this lens. It's very versatile. You get a 35mm, which is a great focal length, super versatile, and it's growing on me more and more, to be honest, as I shoot with it. And it also goes all the way out to 16, and that's really nice when you do things like video shooting, if you're a vlogger, if you're shooting on a gimbal. It's a great size and weight, and it goes out to this huge, massive ultra-wide lens, but also you can kind of zoom in when you need it to get some street photos, some portraits if you need to, and it doesn't break the bank. Now, this is your typical Sony construction metal build. It's a Zeiss lens. It's pretty sharp throughout the focal length with the exception of 35, which does suffer a little bit, but all in all, it's a great performer. And I will mention that all the lenses that I'm going to recommend to you today, I do have a full in-depth review on, so keep an eye out for the links at the end of the video. So needless to say, I'm not going to get in too deep to the specifics of each of these lenses in this video, but I do want to share a little bit of the work that I've done with each so you have an idea of what to expect. So here's some pictures and videos of the 16-35 f4 for you to check out and be the judge yourself. When you think portrait lenses, you probably think fast primes. But this lens constantly surprises me when it comes to portraiture. It's got decent bokeh, but the wide angle can make for some really interesting shots. It's also a great lens for real estate, journalistic photography, and of course, landscapes. The 16-35's autofocus is fast and accurate, and keep in mind that this lens is image stabilized. A great feature to have in a lot of situations. Overall, I've really enjoyed using this lens and give it a solid 4 stars. To see a full in-depth review on this lens, here's the link. Next up in my number 2 spot, we've got the Sony 90mm f2.8 macro lens. This is a G series lens from Sony. This lens is absolutely incredible. I love to shoot the details, I love macro photography, and this thing is an incredible portrait lens as well. It's actually one of the sharpest lenses in the world. Wrap your head around that. And in some cases, this lens is too sharp for some people. It's just too much effort to actually get rid of all the detail when it comes to maybe wedding photos or things like that. But I absolutely love this lens. I love shooting things that you can't with any other lens. So let's look a little bit closer at this lens, look at some of the features, give you some examples, and see why this thing made my number 2 spot. And to be honest, it's almost tied with number 1. This lens is very well made, with a few very handy options including a focus hold button, a focus limiter switch. It also has image stabilization, which is incredibly handy, especially when you're hand-holding macro shots. The large and accurate focus ring actually doubles as a manual focus button. Just pull it down to engage it. And being only 5 1/4 inches long and 3 1/8 inch wide, this lens is very versatile and can come with you most places. The autofocus is very fast and basically silent, but here's a few examples of what you can expect out of this thing. It's not hard to see how this thing made my number 2 spot. All in all, I gave it 4.5 stars, and for a full in-depth review, here's the link. And last but definitely not least, this lens needs no introduction. My number 1 spot going to the Tamron 28-75 f2.8. This lens has amazing reviews. It has amazing value. It's small and compact. It's light. It performs great. I will mention this lens is not image stabilized, and it does come with a 7-year warranty opposed to Sony's 1. So there are some things to consider. But definitely this lens is outstanding in basically every regard, and it does go most places with me. The build of this lens is definitely solid. It's a plastic or composite material and has no buttons on it. It's just over 4.5 inches long and under 3 inches wide. But maybe the most impressive thing about this lens is the price. At around $879, the value of this thing is incredibly hard to beat. So let's look at some of the shots that I've got with this thing. I am shooting on it right now, so you have an idea about what that looks like for the video. But let's dive in and see some pictures. It produces beautiful soft bokeh and incredible sharpness in any situation. Paired with my A7 III, I haven't found a situation that it's let me down in, even in super low light conditions. I gave the Tamron 28-75 4.5 stars out of 5, but have a look at the full in-depth review for a proper assessment. So there you go, there's my top 3 lenses. Right now, they aren't going to break the bank. These lenses perform fantastically. They all have great autofocus systems. I use them primarily with my A7 III. The functionality works perfectly, including the eye autofocus for all these lenses. And again, if you do want to see a detailed review on any of these lenses, I'll throw the link in the description for you as well. If you are thinking about picking one of these up, there are also affiliate links in there that'll take you to where you need to go to buy them. And this is just my 2 cents of these 3 lenses. These are my personal lenses I use all the time. I hope you liked this video. I hope it helped you out, and if it did, consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Drop your questions and comments down below. And like always, make mistakes, be yourself, and get out there and take some more pictures. See you next time, friends.